Good afternoon to all our friends from the media. On behalf of the organizers, we would like to welcome everyone to this wonderful island of Mactan, Cebu for our APEC finance-related meetings for today until Friday. So for our first press conference, we have two speakers. The first is Philippines Finance Undersecretary Gil Beltran, and second is Mr. Fabier Roca, Director General for International Economic Affairs, Competition and Productivity of the Ministry of Economy and Finance of Peru. So Usec Gil Beltran will share with us highlights of the agenda of our three-day meetings for this week. And Mr. Roca may share with us insights of a delegate and insights of our next year's host of APEC. So may we ask Usec Gil to give an opening statement?
Good morning, everyone. The first half day of the senior finance officials meeting is over, and there have been some achievements on how the Cebu Action Plan is going to be presented to the ministers on Friday. The several discussions and negotiations have been undertaken, and actually there's significant support for many of the policies and activities that are proposed to be included in the Cebu Action Plan. And as you well know, this consists of 4 pillars. The first pillar is financial integration. The second pillar is fiscal reforms and transparency. The third pillar is financial resilience, making these economies more resilient to economic shocks and disasters. And the fourth pillar is infrastructure development and financing. And there are many deliverables under each of these pillars, and they are now being negotiated and debated on by the senior officials as of today. We expect the meeting to come out with a endorsement to the deputies for tomorrow's meeting of the deputies on how the Cebu Action Plan will look like for eventual approval by the ministers on Friday. So there are about 212 participants, delegates in this meeting. And for the CEO's meeting, we expect 100 participants. So this is a well-attended meeting, and we expect that the output will be also a well-discussed and a well-debated one. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, and now may we ask Mr. Roca to share his views on the agenda and on the Cebu Action Plan and some highlights on Peru.
Thank you. I would like to start to giving many thanks for the Republic of Philippines government for hosting that senior finance minister official meeting and finance minister meeting. We appreciated the quality of the organization. With regard to this matter of this session, Peru wants to highlight the Philippines' initiative on proposing Cebu Action Plan. We understand the plan is an ambitious proposal which collects several efforts that we believe the Asian-Pacific economies should be undertaking in order to build inclusive and resilient economies and bolster the region's role in a locomotive for the world economy. I'm sure that discussion and activities that will rise for it will be nourished Peru year in 2008. It's important to mention that the Peru is firmly committed with the initiative of Cebu Action Plan. Within our own economy, we are already implementing and exploring in some of policy proposals that include in the vision of Cebu Action Plan. For the next year, Peru will be a host, and we will prepare that discussion and implementing phase of the Cebu Action Plans, especially in the financial resilience and financial transparency in macroeconomic issues. We think that the first meeting in Peru will be in Lima or in other city. We're planning we're planning 3 meetings. One in the capital. The final session will be in Lima, in capital. We start the sessions and the meetings in February. I have the information. Thank you.
Okay, now we are opening the floor to questions. For our media friends who would like to ask questions, you may raise your hand and then allow me to acknowledge you, and then you may stand in front of the microphone, state your name and your affiliation. Who would like to ask the first question? Come on, don't be shy. Yes, please.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Rachel from Philippine Information Agency in Cebu. I'd like to direct my question to the gentleman from Peru. Sir, the 4 pillars that were mentioned under the Cebu Action Plan, would you consider these as the most pressing issues that need to be addressed, especially when you bring them over for discussions in your hosting of the next round of APEC?
Yeah, what Peru consider the Cebu Action Plan is a deep and impressive agenda that will ministers of finance in the region will may face or to address. We are full commitment with the 4 pillars, and we try to make a strategy joint with Philippines and Vietnam to implementing a short-term plan. 1 year plan in our year. We try to define the best and the most accurate actions to implement that. No, we are full commitment in that action. For example, one idea around the Peruvian strategy of implementation and Cebu plans, action plans is financial literacy strategy. We want to promote that all APEC member has a clear and transparent financial strategy combat to illiteracy. The other pillar is try to implement innovative financial instruments to mitigate the natural risk disasters. Both Philippines and Peru has faced many natural disasters, and we need to cooperative work on that issue.
Okay, thank you. Who wants to ask the next question? Yes, Mika.
Good afternoon. I'm Mikhail Flores of Business World. This question is addressed to both Usec Beltran and to Director Fabier. Based on this morning's discussion, which of the pillars gained broad support from economies, and which were the contentious aspects of the Cebu Action Plan, and how did the delegates resolve all these contentious issues? And can you give us more details about the document? How many pages? And also, is the timeline of deliverables, are there long-term, medium-term, and short-term deliverables for the APEC member economies? Thank you.
Actually, there's broad support for all the pillars because these are necessary to make APEC a rapidly growing and very resilient and inclusive region. It's just some of the wordings, how to formulate them in such a way that all the sensitivities of certain measures will be acceptable to everyone. But as a general observation, all of these pillars are necessary to make the region, to retain the dynamism of the economies of the region and make them more resilient to economic shocks and natural disasters. These are all necessary.
Yeah, on concrete about your questions, how many pages it has? It's 19 pages around that. It's one inside. The other inside is we understand that the Cebu Action Plan is the roadmap for the next 20 years for the finance minister process. We understand that those pillars must be implemented considering the heterogeneity of the economies. We understand that not all the APEC members are ready to implement in the short term, but we must work with that economies to try to implement these actions as to gather to work on the discussions around that instruments. In the case of Peru, we're planning for 1 year implementing a strategy. No, the Cebu Action Plan has 3 timetables. First is the 1 year action. The other one is 5-year action, and the other one is 10-year action. We work in that, and we select most affordable or doable actions for the year of Peru hosting. You know.
Okay, any more questions?
I'm Chris Laranya from Dow Jones. The last time that the Philippines hosted the APEC was, 20 years ago? And between that and this time, we have had, 2 financial crises, Asian and the global. And now we're facing a China, I'm not sure if it's a China crisis, but given all of this, where does this Cebu Action Plan get in? Will it prevent another crisis from happening? China is not here, I suppose, tomorrow, in the finance meeting tomorrow. So what's the concern among the senior ministers and the finance ministers about what's happening in China, and has this been addressed in one of the pillars, which is financial resilience, the devaluation of the yuan and the other crises happening around the world?
In one of the pillars of the Cebu Action Plan, it talks of enhancing the resiliency of economies to volatility, market volatility, and and this, the measures that are included in this pillar will try to soften the impact of such volatilities in the economies of the member economy, in the economies of the members. Once this, if you look at many of the deliverables under this pillar, you will see that it will hasten the flow of investments across the economies. For instance, the Asian Region Funds Passport will allow these economies to tap the excess savings from one economy and transform it into productive investments in the other economy. So this, because the APEC region is one of the regions with the highest level of savings in the world. Actually, they account for a huge percentage of FDI and investable funds. There are many pension funds in the region that can move their funds to where they are needed, to where the returns are much higher. So by getting the policies coordinated with each other, we will hasten the flow from the ones with higher savings, with excess savings, to the ones with lower savings, so that all the economies will grow together. This is the objective of the third. Which pillar is this? The third?
The third. Yeah,
it's the third pillar.
Third.
Yes.
No, all the APEC economy understand that the financial crisis of the new normal, as I call in the World Bank, is a huge challenge for our economies. We understand that the macroeconomic cooperation and coordination for sharing macroeconomic prudential measure is a key factor to face the new normal. We understand also that the creation of buffer and installation of safeguards against market volatility is a need for all the APEC economies, and we work that in this issue. And this issue is included in the Cebu Action Plan. In resume, the Cebu Action Plan is very comprehensive actions against not only through the volatility, against the volatility markets markets, that includes other development actions to foster capital market development, to exchange information, and to promote trade and investment through financial integration.
Any more questions? Yes.
Good afternoon, Sir Simon Bendevera of Philippine Daily Inquirer. In two of the pillars, the financial transparency and integration pillars. Fiscal, sorry.
Fiscal transparency.
I'm sorry,
Fiscal reforms and transparency.
Yes, fiscal reforms and transparency, and also financial integration pillars. Earlier, you mentioned that there were reservations because of some barriers or regulatory roadblocks, so other economies cannot completely implement. For example, they could not set up credit information bureaus or collateral agencies. So how can we move forward the Cebu Action Plan if there are these barriers that still exist, and what can we do to address them? Thank you.
Many of these economies can join the projects or the initiatives once they get the full backing of their Congress, because they need legal basis to participate in many of these initiatives, and it takes a while before they can get it. So, the development partners are looking forward to assisting the member economies to get ready for more liberalization and more integration. And it takes a while before we can get there. But at least we are moving forward to get there. And there's a unanimity in working together so that we can move forward.
Can it be done within the 10-year period of the Cebu Action Plan of the road?
Actually, the 10-year period is indicative. Actually, we can, if some of the other countries cannot yet get the desired legal basis for it, then we can actually extend the time period. The time periods are merely indicative, but we know where we want to go, and that is the most important thing.
Thank you, sir.
The lady there, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Maritas Villamor from Cebu Daily News. Regarding the Asia Region Funds passport, may we know, aside from the Philippines and Peru, as you said, sir, you're fully committed. May we know what other economies have committed to participate in that scheme?
You will know that in Friday, when
On
there's
Friday.
With the ministers.
yes,
With
the
the
ministers
ministers
will be the ones to decide.
But
So
how many
whether-
economies do you think do you need for this to be efficiently implemented?
It's very difficult to say, but there will be a good number
Yeah.
that will sign the letter, a
Half
statement.
of the 21, or
Very difficult to say.
But the problem is not the number of the economy full committed with a passport. We need to lead with example, with few economy, and show the benefits of this instrument. If we start with 10, it's a good goal to understand show the benefits of these actions. This is the key issue in APEC. It's a voluntary actions to take policy or to take benefits. We need to show benefits to other member economy to try to include this economy in these instruments. No, this is the essence of the Cebu Action Plan.
last question, are we on track for the launch next year? Do you have a target date already?
Well, it's difficult, but we need to negotiate with other APEC members. Peru is full commitment with the Cebu Action Plan, and we want to start APEC Passport Fund. But we need to work with other economies in this objective.
Okay, just a background. Our finance ministers will be meeting tomorrow and on Friday, and they will be firming up several issues, not only the Cebu Action Plan, but related subject matters such as the ARFP. So by then, we will know the exact number of economies that will be joining the signing of the ARFP. And of course, based on the media advisory distributed to all of you, there is a signing, and the media is invited to witness the signing of the ARFP on Friday. And of course, we will have a joint press conference where we can address more questions about the ARFP. Okay, any more questions? Yes.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Martin from the Philippine Star. This question is addressed to Usec Gil Beltran. It was mentioned that there are 3 timetables under the plan. So can you give us examples of what are the efforts for the Philippines under the 1-year timetable for the 4 pillars?
Oh, it's because of too many initiatives, it's very difficult to say which one.
Even just a couple of examples.
Why don't you just wait for Friday? It will be there.
Okay.
The document will be released on Friday.
Okay.
And it will go through discussions today. We just finished the half day. And then tomorrow it will go to the deputies for discussion, and then it will go up to our ministers who will sign it on Friday. Just wait for it. We are getting there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, we can accommodate perhaps 1 or 2 more questions from the floor. Who wants to ask any more questions?
Well, if I may,
Okay.
the first senior official meeting for the next year will be in February, mid-February, the 15th February to 17th February. The venue is still defined. I think the minister will be confirmed the first venue.
Okay, are there any more questions? If none, I will ask our speakers perhaps to give their closing statements. Ezekiel and Mr. Fabier. I know individually economies are already working towards the issues of the CAP, like integration, fiscal reforms, infrastructure development, and resilience. But what is the importance of having coordinated efforts and discussing these issues on a regional scale?
We must remember that APEC is the largest economic grouping in the whole world. The APEC member economies account for 57% of world GDP. They account for more than 50%, 54% of inward FDI and 56% of outward FDI. And they also account for 39% of the world's population. So the grouping of these economies also, these economies account for the most dynamic economies as members. If you look at the growth rates of the member economies as a whole, they double that of world growth. So we are growing faster than the rest of the world. So the grouping of these economies to adopt policies that will enhance their resiliency and enhance their inclusivity will be a big boon to the world economy as a whole. It will push up growth rates, avoid the dampening impact of disasters and volatilities. We have had several crises in the past, and we have learned from them, and we have based on these lessons, we are trying to adapt the policies that will help us avoid a crisis in the future. Thank you.
No, thank you. We think that the new world economic scenario must be faced in coordinated ways. I think APEC is a good fora to coordinate not only macroeconomic issues, also financial issues, and to bolster the inclusive growth in our economy. We think the financial integration is the key factor to promote and facilitate trade and investment in the APEC region. This is the essence of the Cebu Action Plan, and this is the idea that the Peru are full commitment with the Cebu Action Plan.
Okay, thank you very much to our speakers for today. That ends our first press conference for our final stretch of the APEC FMP meetings here in Cebu. So I'll see you all again tomorrow. Thank you.